Audio check, 1, 2, 3. Audio check, 1, 2, 3. Sounds loud and clear. Welcome along, ladies and gentlemen, to the Motive Racing channel. We're here for the 9th round of the Touring Car Championship here on Project Cars 2 on the PlayStation 4 and 5. We're at Silverstone International, a track which is always pretty exciting. It's very slipstreamy type of affair. You need to pretty much keep yourself on the back of the pack to keep yourself in contention of the win around this circuit, as you really can get dragged along. The lead car in this one's going to be conserving, it's going to be using a lot of fuel, and everybody else can kind of just leech off of the leader a little bit. But this is always one of the more exciting tracks. We've raced it before in the touring cars and the Clios, and I'm sure tonight it's going to be a similar type of slipstream affair that we've seen before. But it's currently Falguest leading the way in the qualifying session. The championship leader comes into this one with a reasonably healthy championship gap over Grandad's D, and you know, it's not massive, but it's certainly got a bit of a cushion. The gap coming into this one, 47 points between Falguest and Grandad's D. You obviously get 35 points for a win. We have 2 races per round, so 73 points up for grabs per round. That means that overall, from now until the end of the season, there are 291 points available from here to the end of the season. So 47 out of 291. Grandad's D hasn't got to outscore Falguest by that much to pip him to the title. 8 races still to go, still plenty of drama and thrills and spills to come. But Falguest, as we said, leading the championship and leading the way in the qualifying session. He's got a 4/10 of a second gap over Beam Basher. Beam Basher missed last week, one of our championship contenders in the GTEs, but hasn't really been here enough in the touring cars this season to warrant a position at the top of the standings in the touring cars. He's been here or there or thereabouts. He's always a contender when he does race, but too often, unfortunately, Beam Basher hasn't been able to make the Friday night slot, so he's a little way down the order, but always a contender in these cars, and good to see him out on track. Some of you may know he used to be called something different, but anyway, we'll gloss over that. Nick Lavilla in 3rd place at the moment. He's half a second off of the fastest time. Was sitting a very quick time in the practice session earlier on. Was in the low 157s in practice, but hasn't been able to replicate that so far. He did say in the build-up that it was a bit of a fluke what he managed to do in the practice, so I wonder whether he will be able to even get anywhere near that in this qualifying session. Hopefully for him he will be. But Smokey Devil's in the pits. He's done a lap good enough for 4th place. That's a pretty solid job there from Smokey. The Mutts Nuts is coming out of Luffield at the moment, out onto gets a little bit over that curb there as he heads in towards Woodcote and up towards the old start-finish line, which is obviously the start-finish line for the track, for the configuration that we're running tonight, Silverstone National. Grandad's D's just pipped the Mutts Nuts up into P5, and the Mutts Nuts can't improve on that particular lap, so Grandad's D up into 5th place here in this qualifying session. We've got WSRCJ currently running in 7th place, making his return to Motive Racing tonight. Great to see him back out on track. He used to race with us regularly in the touring cars and the Clios, and making his reappearance here. He's, as we say, 7th place in his session, 8/10 off for the pole time. One of the quickest drivers back when he used to race here before, and he's looking like he's in the top half at the moment, for the time being anyway. Simon Turner in the pits, our new regular to this touring car series, has raced a couple of times as a reserve, but he signed up to the championship about a week ago, I think it was now. Couldn't make his first race as a full-time driver, so this is his first official race as a full-time driver since signing up to the championship. He's in the pits. We've got Joe Black also in the pits, making his reappearance after he was away last week. RDJ out there in 10th place. He's running in my livery, very nice. Swiss Tony in 11th. He's just coming out onto the back straight between Beckett's and Brooklands. Pete Bibb just behind him out on the track there. You see him just coming out onto that back straight now. Ayatel is currently 13th in this qualifying session. We know he can move a lot higher than that. We'll be seeing him climb up the order, I'm sure, before the end of this session. Bite Size DJ in 14th in the standings at the moment. Hijoli in P15, just coming in towards Maggots and Beckett's now. He runs out the field, so 3 seconds covering the entire field at the moment. Seems like a pretty close field here tonight for the touring cars. Round 9 of the season here on the Motive Racing channel. Most of you watching this will be the drivers watching it post-race, but if you are watching live, if any of your friends are out on track, if your family, if anybody that you are otherwise associated with is out there right now competing in these touring cars, then let us know who you're rooting for tonight, as we've got less than 5 minutes left to go in this qualifying session. Falguest still your man on top spot. Beam Bash has been pipped to second by Grandad's D for the time being, so Grandad's D provisionally on the front row of the grid here. as we're watching the provisional pole sitter Falguest coming out of the Luffield here in towards Woodcote. He's going to get a nice slipstream actually off of the driver in front of him. I'm not quite sure the identity of the driver, but Falguest is going to get a lovely tow here up towards the line. Doesn't improve though, obviously stays in pole, but doesn't improve his lap time. Beamasher there coming out of the pits for another crack at it. He's currently in third at the moment in this qualifying session. Nick DeVille, Smokey, the Mutts Nuts, Grandad Steve, Joe Black, Swiss Tony, all in the pits. And he's also in the pits, but that's because he's not racing, he's commentating, as Mutts Nuts is just coming out of the pits now. But we've got 15 drivers in the lobby at the moment, so a packed out field for this one. Great to see the touring cars once again really filling up the lobbies, and we'll hopefully get good racing as a result. Hopefully everybody keeps it clean on the first lap and for the rest of the race, to be honest with you, but ideally the first lap. Grandad Steve's coming out of the pits now to do his final run of the session. He's got 3 tenths to find on Falguest, and he's got 47 points to find on him in the championship. So Grandad Steve has got his work cut out for the final 8 races of the season, but it's definitely on. Not too much of a gap when you consider how many points are up for grabs. This, as I say, 291 points up for grabs for the rest of this season, and he's only 47 points behind. So when you think about it, that's about I'm just trying to work it out. It's about 15%. So it's not, not too much of a deficit really, is it? So definitely doable. As we see Grandad Steve coming out of Luffield, about to complete this current lap that he's on. Let's see what Grandad Steve can do here, running the same livery as Falguest as they have been throughout the season. Up towards the line, what can Grandad Steve put on the board here? He crosses over now and he stays in P2 for the time being. Smokey's still in the pits, he's not going to improve from there, we know that. Nick Levilla's up into 4th though, and he is currently half a second off of the top fastest time. I think he was always in P4 actually. What about the Mutts Nuts? He's coming into Brooklands at the moment. WSRCJ's coming out of Beckett's. We've got Simon Turner just coming through Cops at the moment. RDJ is coming up towards the line, doesn't improve at the moment, stays in P10. So let's get some eyes on this man, the Mutts Nuts, who's coming up towards the line. Can he improve from P6 here on this current lap that he's on? Crosses over now and he doesn't, stays in P6. So battle for other places in the championship. It's looking pretty close actually between Pete Bibb, DJ Phil and the Mutts Nuts. Pete Bibb sits in 4th in the championship on 242 points. He's currently sat in 11th in this qualifying session. He sits 24 points ahead of DJ Phil, who's in 5th in the championship. But DJ Phil doesn't look like he got in time. I think he might have. I don't know if he. I don't know. I definitely sent out the invites, but I think he must have not got in before the reserves got in. So DJ Phil looks like he's missed the cut tonight. The Mutts Nuts sits in 6th in the championship. He's 36 points behind Pete Bibb, so he'll be looking to try and bring that gap down. He's obviously, as it stands, qualifying ahead of Pete Bibb, so that puts him in a good position for this one. Joe Black sat pretty much on it by himself in the 3rd place in the championship. He's a long way behind Falguest and Stee, who are the main championship contenders, but he's also kind of like a long way ahead of Pete Bibb as well. So it's definitely going to be a bit of a job for Joe Black to catch the leaders, but he's definitely looking good for that bronze medal. But still, as I say, 8 races left to go in this season, so anything can happen. But here we go, final closing stage of this session. Falguest still on pole, and he's got Beamasher just ahead of him, and he's got RDJ just behind him. Beamasher's just coming out of Luffield. Let's see what he can do. He's got 4 tenths to find. Let's also get some eyes on Grandad Steve. He's coming out of Cops up towards Maggots. Beamasher's coming up towards the line, and he'll get one more lap in after this one. So this isn't for all the marbles, but it's certainly he'd want to be delivering now. Over the line he comes, and he stays in 3rd place for the time being. Smokey has come into the pits. The Mutts Nuts is also in the pits. Neither of them are going to improve from there. But we've got WSRCJ out on the track, as is RDJ, as is Simon Turner. Hey, Jodie's just pitted. Bite-sized DJ's pitted, and RDJ's in the pits. Bite-sized DJ's out there still. He's coming over the line now, and he doesn't improve. Stays in 15th position. Falguest though, coming out of the exit of Beckett's down this long stretch which leads down towards Brooklands. So you're already halfway around the lap after you've done the first couple of corners. It's a very short lap here at Silverstone National. Flash the lights there from Falguest. I don't know if he's on an improvement here. Let's actually pull up the map. So we got the split times up. No, he's slowed down. He's backed right off there. It looked like he was going quite slow, to be fair. I didn't want to comment just in case I was completely wrong, but it looked like he had backed off. Simon Turner over the line. It's currently P9, doesn't improve. Oh no, he does improve up into P8. Nicely done there, Simon Turner. Beam Basher comes over. He doesn't improve. Grandesty looks like he's done for the session. That car's definitely not going at racing speeds. Falguest is done. Bite Size DJ is done. And that looks like that's that. So it's Falguest on pole. Grandesty will line up alongside him on the front row. 0.3 of a second between those two here in the qualifying session. It's going to be a close race. Beam Basher just behind there with Nick Lavilla alongside him on the second row. Smoky Devil and the Mutts Nuts in 5th and 6th. WSR CJ and Simon Turner in 7th and 8th. RDJ and Joe Black round out the 5th row, rounding out the top 10. Pete Bibb, Swiss Tony, Ijoli, ALTEL and Bite Size DJ at the back. Oh. Pit stop for this one. There will be for the second race, but not for this one. Sorry?
You will
Sorry?
have some money from me when me and
Oh, nah, stop going on about that. Stop it. Please. It's alright, you can still stay here, but don't talk about that. Alright, we've got to start the race now. So here we go then, guys. 15 cars out on the grid here for the sprint race, the first race of the evening. 15 minutes, a straight out sprint to the line. Night is starting to fall a little bit. Sorry? Here we are then, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to go racing here. The drivers just making their final adjustments to their setups as we're about to go racing at Silverstone International. If you haven't already, guys, if you are watching live, if you're not one of the drivers watching this back post race, then drop a like and let us know if you are supporting any of the guys out on track at the moment. It's going to be a hectic one. As we said before, slipstream is going to be key. If you lose the pack, you're going to be losing time because everybody in that pack is going to be going faster down to the toe that they're getting off for the drivers in front of them. So it's hugely beneficial to be in that lead pack. If you're not, you're going to be in trouble. But here we go, lights are on and it's green and go here at Silverstone for round 9 of the season here, sprint racing. It looks as though Falguest gets a good launch and is leading us up towards turn 1. Stee there has got pressure here up the inside from Beam Basher, but Stee holds on for second place. Nick Lavilla there in 4th. Smokey holding on for P5. You'll see a bit of a bump there between the Mutts Nuts and RDJ, but RDJ muscles his way through up into 6th, and WSRCJ is going to try and follow him through here. Oh, we've got cars on the grass there. What's going on? RDJ's off, and it looks as though possibly WSRCJ off as well there. It's a carnage at the first corner as RDJ, WSRCJ and Pete Bibb all in the walls there. Falguest leads coming down towards Brooklands for the first time ahead of Grandesty. Grandesty looking to the inside, trying to pressure him in towards Brooklands. Beam Basher is trying to get past Grandesty as well, but those three leading us round with Nick Lavilla just behind and Smoky Devil in hot pursuit at the moment there. Well, actually no, he's not in hot pursuit. He's got the Mutts Nuts, but just behind him with Swiss Tony, and Swiss Tony has got is that Simon Turner there? Simon Turner's looking around the outside of Swiss Tony, coming in towards Woodcote to complete the first lap. They're still going to be battling this one as Swiss Tony all over that curve there, just crawling over the inside of the corner there. And now that will allow Simon Turner to get a good run here, coming down towards Cops, side by side. And in the end, Simon thinks better of that one. Swiss Tony holding on for the time being. Falguest leads by 0.2 of a second ahead of his championship rival, Grandesty. In towards Magnussen Beckett's they come for the second time here in this race. Beam Basher just watching this unfold behind them, hoping to get involved in this action if if he can. Riding on board in the cockpit of Beambasher. You can't see the McDonald's colours on the inside of the car, but you can definitely see a battle going on here at the front between these two championship contenders. As now Granasty looks to the outside in towards Crooklands. Is he going to be able to get around him here? Falgas just hugging that inside curb and not allowing the gaps to form. And he's maintaining the speed. He's maintaining that apex speed, which is not allowing Granasty to get that run around the outside, which would give him the inside for Luffield. He's just covering that off for the time being. It's good driving from Falgas there. Flash the lights from Beambasher to Granasty, but Nick Levitt is still watching this unfold in P4 and hoping that these guys might trip over each other if he can just force them into a mistake. Smoky Devil there in 5th, still keeping tabs kind of, but he's pulling away from the mid pack. He's kind of losing touch with the lead pack though. The Mutt Swiss Tony, Simon Turner still on the back of Swiss Tony, has got Joe Black all over him now. Joe gets a little bit out wide there coming out of Cop's corner. Can he get the run towards Maggots? Don't think he is going to be able to there. He's just about going to have to tuck in there. Oh no, Simon's wide though. Simon's wide, and that might give Joe a sniff. Side by side here, coming out of Beckett's onto the Wellington straight. Is he going to be able to get this done here? Joe still can't get it done as he's just being squeezed there. Simon's trying to get the move done on Swiss Tony though, and he's going to have a look here. Swiss is just closing the door there brilliantly, and Simon just gives him a bit of a tap in the rear, which might just unstable both of them a little bit. Swiss sliding everywhere as he comes into Luffield. Simon still wide, still offline coming through that part of the track, all over the curb as Joe Black tucks in, and he's got Ayatel looking pretty hot in his mirrors right now. These two both running the Argentina livery. The only other car in the Argentina livery tonight is Pete Bibb, who's now had an absolute mare of a start to this race. Falgas leads by 3/10 coming out of Cops in towards Maggots. Grandad Steve, Beambasher and Nick still in hot pursuit. These four separated by a second in the early stages of this race. Not much really that you can put between any of them at the moment. They're pulling away from Smoky Devil. Smoky is now falling back into the clutches of the Mutts Nuts a little bit, I think. The gap's not as big as it was back to the Mutts Nuts in 6th places. Swiss Tony is still leading this mid-pack battle with Simon Turner. Grandad Steve's got ahead of Falgas though. Up towards Brooklands. Oh, the two championship contenders rubbing doors there, and you see that Grandad Steve just getting pushed out. Falgas had to take a few of the cones with him there as they came to the corner. They're keeping it clean for the most part, but bit of argy-bargy there between the two. Robbins racing, a bit of trading paint, and Grandad Steve's going to have to get this around the outside here. Grandad Steve's on the inside there. Falgas, I can't tell the difference. They've got the same livery, it's impossible. But in towards Cop's corner now. Grandad Steve's got the inside once again and has the lead. Falgas trying to hold it around the outside. Now Beambash is involved in this one though. Oh god, and we're going to go 3 wide here, coming up towards Maggots and Beckett's. Beambasher in the end, I think is going to, yes, he is going to go. He's going to go side by side with Falguest and gets the move done there, beautifully done there. Slips up the inside. Falguest is going to leave him the space on the inside and gets the better run coming out of Beckett's, which is pivotal to him. He'll get the slipstream also off of Grandad Steve, so Falguest should be able to hold on to that one coming down the Wellington straight. Nick the Villa on the back of them, and Smoky Devil and the Mutts Nuts now being brought into this battle whilst these four slow each other down and trip over each other a little bit. It's just bringing Smoky and the Mutts Nuts into this one. Grandad Steve still has a slender lead here to Falguest since getting that move done. It was kind of lining up that move for quite a while on that previous lap, and it manages to eventually pull it off. Falguest though not lying down on this one. He's going to get a nice slipstream here coming down the national pit straight here. Is he going to have a look into Cop's corner? He doesn't want to do a Hamilton here and try and throw one. Oh, actually, I mean, it could work out for him. It did work out for Hamilton, but I don't think it would have the same rewards for Falguest there. Out of Cop's corner they come. Nick the Villa's now lining up Beambasher. Beambasher's going to find himself under the cosh here a little bit. Nick the Villa thinks better of that one. Smoky Devil and the Mutts Nuts just creeping into this, but they've lost a bit of time on this last lap or so. I think the top four have now started to pull their finger out a little bit and are starting to now pull out the gap to these two, but they're having a pretty interesting battle of their own right now as Mutts Nuts is trying to clear Smoky Devil as quick as he can and maybe set his sights on the leaders in the foreground. Beambasher having a look to the inside of Falguest. Falguest though covers that off, takes his normal line. Simon Turner there in 7th place has got Swiss Tony. Swiss Tony's got Joe back looking all over him there coming into Brooklands, but holds him off. Ayatel here, Jody there in 11th. WSR CJ starting to reel these guys in despite a turbulent first lap. He is now bringing himself back into the picture here. RDJ in 13th place. There is Bite Size DJ in P14 and Pete Bibb running in 15th spot at the moment after that difficult first lap. He had that incident there with Jay and RDJ. Grandad Stedo still leads by 2/10 of a second ahead of Falguest, and Beambasher within half a second of the leader. Nick de Villa's just backed off a little bit, maybe thinking to himself, I need to be there, I need to survive until the end of this race. If I can survive to the last lap, I might have a chance, but no point engaging too much with these guys at this point. He's seen that a couple of times it's almost spilled over, and maybe he's playing the tactical game here, maybe he's playing the long game here in this sprint race. But Grandesty, Falguest, Beambasher separated by nothing coming into Brooklands, and the two championship contenders, 1 and 2, they've got Beambasher trying to be the party pooper in the middle of it all though, and these two running in the same livery, clearly teammates of some sort, but I'm sure they're going to be battling it out for their own championships. They are the two drivers in with a chance realistically of winning this championship. No one else is really in touching distance. They've got about 120 points back to Joe Black, who's in third in the standings. So we now see Falguest making a move up the inside of Copse. Can Grandesty get the cut back? He does, you know. Beautiful exit there from Grandesty. Telegraphed that one to perfection. And Falguest could find himself open to Beambasher here on the run down towards Maggots. Beambasher on the inside. No, Falguest covers that one off. As, oh, Nick de Villa, oh no! He gets a big slide there coming out of Maggots into Beckett's, but just about keeps a hold of it. I don't know how he managed. Well, no, I say it. I said it before. I mean, I know exactly how he held on to it, but I tell you what, you've got to have very, very good reactions to do so. Well done to him for that. And Grandesty still just ahead of Falguest, 3/10 between them. Beambasher still watching and waiting, but Nick there with cat-like reflexes, and is still within a second of this lead pack. Got to give it to him. If he can keep in that slipstream, then he'll still have a chance of winning this race, that is for sure. The Mutts Nuts and Smokey have dropped off for the lead pack a little bit, running in 5th and 6th, still having their own little battle here. The Mutts Nuts has got ahead of Smokey though, up into P5, so he's made that move. Swiss Tony's still just ahead of Joe Black. ALTEL and Hijoli are very, very hot on their heels. This is a four-way battle for 8th place at the moment. And ALTEL trying to get ahead of his liveried counterpart here in towards Copse, but at the moment can't get it done. Joe Black obviously teammates with Pete Bibb in the other Argentina livery. 3 Argentina liveried cars out there tonight. I'll make my own names for these liveries. I mean, Beambashers, I call them McDonald's livery. I got the Monster Energy livery, that's pretty self-explanatory. But Beambasher down the inside here of Grandesty in towards Brooklands and gets that done. Looks like he must have out-dragged in there. Grandeste's lost a couple of positions though. He's gone from 1st to 3rd in the space of a lap. He doesn't want to lose out to Nick de Villa. Oh no. Oh no. Oh god. I'm an absolute div. I'm an actual idiot. Oh my god. What an actual idiot I am. That was such a good race. Oh man, there's no way I can get back in because I need an invite. It's a fucking private session. Mate, that is annoying. That is so annoying. Oh no. I can't believe that. I cannot believe that. I've never done that. I've never done that. That's the first time that's ever happened. It's the first time I've ever done that. Well, we'll be back on for the feature race, but that's annoying. That's really annoyed me, that has. I've got no way back in. So annoying. Do you know what? I remember why I was picking it up now as well. It's because I had to charge it. That's why I was picking it up. I went to grab it so I could charge it, and then it all goes wrong. Apologies everybody, we'll have the room back up in a sec. Mate, I accidentally clicked out of the lobby. It's the first time that's ever happened. I'm surprised that it took me 2 years of commentating for that to happen. Like I say, it's nearly happened so many times. There's been so many occasions where I've pressed circle and then it's come up saying, do you want to leave? And it's like, nope. But then this time I actually ended up pressing it. Thanks, Val, for the results there. Oh no, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. Why is my wheel? Yeah, you can just start, mate. You can just start before something else goes wrong. Can someone send? I bet I've got an invite, so if I accidentally press out, then at least I can get back in now. Yeah, I'm ready to go. I don't have to be the host. It's all the right settings anyway.
You missed it. It was a pretty good race, that. You missed it all.
I was gutted. I couldn't get back in because I didn't have an invite. I was just sat there, just waiting for it to. Just waiting, basically. It's horrible.
Anyway, good old lads.
That was so annoying.
Again, have a good one.
You too.
Yeah, keep it clean. Always, please. Yeah, mate, it was fucking close. I nearly like the lads was in front of me was bunching up. And it was like, what the fuck? Yeah, it was alright, good face.
I didn't want to keep getting away with you lot because obviously you lot racing properly. And I was like, just move.
No, like, we race clean. Like, we don't know how clean you race, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm close to you or if I'm playing that, I always flash.
I am clean, I just make fucking fundamental mistakes that take me like, it's not intentional. If I mention it, I've been known to miss my breaking point, I'm like, shit.
Is that what you say when you hit me?
Well, that's when no, I didn't miss the braking, but I was round, yeah, but sorry. Our race was over, mate.
You're an arsehole.
What we got? Qualifying again.
Yeah.
There's no restrictions. Everybody can qualify. Just 2 qualifying sessions.
Yeah, you were in front of me.
Auto Butcher's asking if I've been on diazepam again. No, just cacans. That's what I'm on. Phil says this is where the OBS thing comes in. Yeah, I know. I feel I used OBS for like 6 or 7 months, and it just got tired of it. It's too much aggro. People don't care about fancy graphics. They just want to see the racing. Especially the people who've been racing. Like, they come onto the stream to just watch the races back. It's too much stress for nothing, in my opinion. It looks fancy, yeah, it looks nice, but not worth it. Are you running the TTTT one?
Yeah, and just because it's a bit too heavy down the straight, so it's just getting a
It should be alright down the straights, just got to carry the speed. That's the only thing. But as long as you stay in the slipstream, it should be alright. So we'll say to those watching, apologies. Hopefully we'll be able to get hold of that, but we got the top 10. That was the top 10, and so Grandesty obviously closes the gap to Falguest in the championship standings. We're looking pretty close at the top of the order at the moment. And Speenbasher just letting off here, coming down the Wellington Straight. He's the man on provisional pole. But we saw the times in the first qualifying session in the mid-57s. Oh. Looks as though Nick de Villa's coming up towards the line. Pole position from Nick de Villa, 57.6. Gets a lovely toe off of somebody in the green McGann. Don't know who. That's Jay, WSRC Jay there, giving him a lovely toe along. Jay managed to go P3 with that lap as well. They're getting like a quadruple toe off of Falguest and off of I know who it is. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I know who it is. Simon Turner. Simon. No, it's not Simon. No. Swiss Tony. That's it. Swiss Tony. Yeah. Sorry, they were all in the same battle in the sprint race. That's Swiss Tony there leading the pack as these guys coming into Luffield. Let's see if they can improve the lap times even more. Oh, big slide there from Swiss Tony. Wow. The tyre smoke there. Insane. There's now Falgas pulling out of the slipstream there. Maybe he's going to get a good run here. Possibly Falgas could go top of the board. Don't know what sort of time he's on. He's still dragging Jay and Nick with him though as he comes over the line. What is this going to be? Falgas goes P3 and Jay goes up into second there with that lap, continuing to get a nice toe off of these two guys in front of him as they're now trying to actually get ahead of Swiss Tony coming up towards Maggots. But a bit of a shame that we missed the first race, or missed half of the first race. We got the first part of it, which was very exciting, but then we missed the second part because I accidentally left the lobby. If we do have a repeat of that and I do end up accidentally leaving again, then it won't be all doom and gloom because I'll actually be able to join back. I've got a lobby invite this time, so if the disaster were to strike again, the consequences would not be as severe. It's unusual that, but at the moment we're still watching this train of cars here coming out of Luffield in towards Woodcote, and it looks as though Swiss Tony has well, he's obviously been passed by Falgas. He's also been now passed by Jay. Over the line they come. Nick de Villa improves his time there. Look at that, 57.5 there from Nick de Villa. So he's really on it tonight in this second qualifying session. He came 5th in the sprint race from what I saw on the results. He was in that battle. Double toe, yeah. It's working a treat for you. But he was in that battle, that four-way battle for the sprint race win, and obviously we didn't get to see the second half of the sprint race, so we're none the wiser as to how it developed, but we know the actual end result. And looked like the Mutts Nuts did pip him to that fourth place. So Nick will be hoping to right the wrongs of whatever happened in the second half of that sprint race, but he's doing the job at the moment. Falgas though is looking to try and get himself on the top spot, and he'll be looking to try and avenge that defeat to Grandad Stee in the first race. Grandad Stee would have cut the gap by either 5 or 6 points. I'm not sure who. I think, did Nick get the fastest lap? I think it might have been. I don't know. Yeah, Nick de Villa with the fastest lap of 57.3 in that sprint race. So neither of the championship contenders getting that fastest lap, which means that Grandad Stee would have gained 5 points on his rival and would have cut the gap to 42 points going into this second race of the evening. There will still be 6 races left after this one, so still lots of opportunities for Grandad Stee to close the gap. But Falgas has been very consistent over the course of this season, so he's going to have to really have his work cut out. But you know, we're by no means in the closing stages yet. We are. I think we're about. I don't know actually. I can't, because the thing is, we had one race for the first 3 rounds of the season, so 3, and then how many is that? This is technically round 14 of the season. Overall, we're going to have, how many is it? I don't know. 20 rounds, I think. No, I don't know. I can't work it out. I'll have to leave that for another day. But at the moment, we've still got Nick de Villa and Falgas in the pits. I don't know if they're going to get out in time to do another lap here. They might have to settle with whatever they've put on the board, which is going to put them vulnerable to Beam Basher, who's currently coming out down the Wellington Straight. He's sat in 3rd place in this qualifying session. WSRCJ's in the pits. He's not going to improve being sat in there, that's for sure. But the Mutts Nuts is coming out of Cops up towards Maggots. He's just under half a second off of the fastest time being set by Nick de Villa. It's a bit of a lock up there as he came through Maggots and into Beckett's. He comes now, got the hammer down, coming down the Wellington Straight. Simon Turner sat in the pits. RDJ's coming up towards the line. What is it going to be for RDJ? Doesn't improve, stays in P7. Smoky Devil over the line in the background. Had a very strong race in the sprint race. From what I saw of it, I don't know, I think he probably would have come home in 6th, because that's where he was in that battle with the Mutts Nuts before that. I'm guessing he probably finished 6th, as that's where he was before, and he was, you know, he was pulling away from that mid-pack. He seemed to be sort of gravitating towards the leaders in that race, so he'll be, I'm sure, looking to try and build on that in this feature race. So out of the top 10, only the Mutts Nuts and Grandad Stee are out there on laps. Grandad Stee's got work to do here because his championship rival is currently sat on the front row as it stands, and he moves up into 6th there with that lap, but he's still a little way off of where he'd want to be, I'm sure. As the Mutts Nuts is in 5th at the moment in this session. Phil says, yes, I know. I think I'll do OBS with me as the coordinator, then we don't have PS4, PS5 blue screen. We'd still have this blue screen if it's a private stream though, Phil, because if you're streaming to your own channel and then you're streaming to OBS, you'd still have that blue screen unless you have like, yeah, no, unless you have an interval screen, yeah, no, of course, yeah. Didn't think that one through. Yeah. But the Nuts coming out of Luffield, Grandesty's coming through Brooklands. Let's see what Nuts can do here as he's up towards the line. See if he can get himself on the front 2 rows maybe. As here he comes, he's just a little bit too far back from Swiss Tony to get a slipstream. Swiss Tony didn't improve, stays in 11th. The Nuts, I just sounded like I've got a list there. I just said the Nuts. It stays in P5. Grandesty comes over in 6th. I don't actually have a speech impediment. Nothing on people who do. I don't actually have one, but I think I might be about halfway there. I don't know. Sometimes it comes out. Smoky Devil in the pits. Bite-sized DJ comes over the line, doesn't improve, stays in P14. That is the session done. So Nick the Villa takes pole. Great lap there from Nick the Villa. Took the fastest lap in the sprint race and be hoping that he can be consistent over the course of this feature race. Falguest alongside him on the front row, as Bean Basher is now the host, so he needs to press the continue button. Hopefully he sees that little blue button at the bottom of the screen, because I'm not the host anymore. But Bean Basher in 3rd, Jay 4th, then the Nuts in 5th, Grandesty 6th, Simon Turner in 7th place, followed by Ardy J in 8th, Joe Back 9th, followed by AL Tell, Swiss Tony 11th, Pete Bibb in 12th, Smoky Devil 13th, Bite-sized DJ in 14th, and Hijoli. I always call him Hijoli, but it's actually Hijolij. But I always call him Hijoli. That always seems to me to be the right way to say it. But he'll line up in 15th place anyway. As Bean Basher now's just got to press the blue button, and there we go. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. 28 laps of Silverstone National. Hopefully we stay in the lobby for the entirety of it, as this is a much longer race than the sprint race. The sprint race was 16 laps, this 28. This is almost double the distance of the sprint race, so it's going to be a lot more thrills and spills and action for everybody to see and observe, and for the drivers to enjoy out on the track. If you're watching live, eight of you watching, please drop a like on the video, subscribe to the Motive Racing channel if you want to see more action like this. Got leagues on Project Cars, ACC and F1 as well, solely on the PlayStation platform. We did briefly move to PC, but that didn't go so well. But yeah, as I say, if we can get this video to 10 likes before the end of this stream, that would be absolutely amazing. I'll be chuffed to bits with that. We got Phil says in the comments, then we got a start screen, then an interval screen, then a back soon screen. Yeah, I mean, we did have that for a while. To be fair, like, it just, I don't know, it just didn't. Yeah, it just didn't seem like it was worth all the effort, not gonna lie. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe at some point we'll have that back again, but it just didn't seem worthwhile. There we go then, the drivers just making their final little adjustments to their setups.
Andy.
Yes, Smithy. Sorry, I mean Bean Basher.
We might have to do a re-race because the Nuts' PlayStation is fucked up on the games.
Is everybody alright with that? Does anybody object? If we...
It's a bit screwed here, but
No, we'll probably have to do a formation. No, we'll do a formation in order. We do a formation lap in order. Alright then. Alright, go on then. Alright, formation lap though, so I'm just saving the results, so it'll be the same order. Alright. One sec. Alright guys, we're just going to quickly take a short break and restart the lobby, as the lobby was a bit bugged out there, so we're just going to set another one up. So it'll be the same settings as before, but just no qualifying session, and I'll be reading out the drivers' positions to them in the build-up so everybody knows where they're starting. We'll do one manual formation lap and then we'll be getting into order. As my settings are just reset, so I've lost absolutely everything that I just had there. Which is a drag. Apologies, guys. We'll have the feature race underway ASAP. Just going to ping out all of the invites that we just had a few minutes ago. Should have this underway in a couple of minutes. Alright, I'm going to read out the grid order, guys. As soon as everyone's in, I'm just going to run through the whole grid order. So it'll be the same as the quali session. We'll just have a formation.
All the lads in the game chat.
Yeah, please, mate.
Just for a second.
Yeah.
And formation, that's just contact.
Just messing around.
How's this going to work, guys?
So it'll be one formation lap. I'm going to read out, as soon as we got 16 in the lobby, I'll read out the grid order. Right, so we're all here.
Sorry about that, lads.
Right, so grid order's going to be Nick the Villa P1, Falguest P2, Beam Basher P3, Jay P4, Mutsnuts P5, Steve P6, Simon P7, Rob P8, Joe P9, Peanut P10, Swiss Tony P11, Pete Bibb P12, Smokey P13, Bite Size DJ P14 and Hijoli P15. We're going to do one formation lap. I'm not going to up the laps, there's no need. We'll just do one formation lap. Try and make it about 50-60 miles an hour, and don't pass before the line. Just go single file, it'll be easier single file. No passing before the line. Any passing before the line, penalties will be handed out retrospectively. Does anybody not know where they're starting?
How do we leave the grid, Andy? Is it first person and second person, or?
I mean, just obviously coast off the line so that you don't get a penalty. Just coast a little bit off the line.
Then everyone just
Pull away a little bit.
just jump into the places.
Alright.
Yeah, just sort of find your spot. Everyone knows where they're starting though. So, and obviously if somebody disconnects, just try and work it out. Like, try and work out if they're in front or behind you, and then obviously move up. You know, if there's a gap, don't just sort of like labour around. Just, you know, if there's a gap, just pull up to the back of the driver in front. It'd be easier.
It's a rolling, sensible and stuff.
Yeah, just rolling start.
That was easy, Slash.
Alright guys, best of luck. Alright, we won't be able to hear each other once we're in the lobby because there's no quali session. Yeah, you won't be able to hear each other, so unless you're in a party chat, you won't be able to hear each other. Alright, so it's going to mute now. If anybody doesn't know where to start in, please speak out now. Alright, good. Alright, good. Alright, let's go. Best of luck, everyone. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's mad. Oh no, it might. I think it will mute us once we're in the actual lobby. I think that's when it mutes. I don't know. It might not. You know. We shall see. Good luck. I thought we wouldn't be able to hear each other. Usually when you skip practice, or when there's no practice or quali, you can't hear each other. It's weird. That's good anyway.
Well, this sort of result we usually do. Let's see where I'm starting. The jump started.
Oh no, somebody's gone again. That's going to confuse it. Alright, so Nick P1, Falguest P2. Is it Beam Basher that's not? No, Beam Basher's still here.
Who am I waiting on then?
Who's not here?
Oh, now I'm lost.
I don't know who's.
Why am I-
Can't work out who's not here.
It was Swiss Tony that left.
Oh, Swiss Tony left. Hopefully everyone will realise. Where was Swiss Tony? He was gonna be 11th, wasn't he? So
In the lead.
no, so Pete's just got to close up to Smokey. No, hold on, other way around. Sorry.
Is everyone there?
Pete's just got to close up to ATL, and then it's fine.
I got slippage.
Yeah, Hijoli's just coming into Brooklands, so I'd say hold it for a minute, hold it for a sec. I'll say when you're good. Alright, yeah, any time now, mate. You can go any time now. Here we go, it's green. We're racing here for the feature race at Silverstone National. Finally we're underway. Nick de Villa, foot to the floor, has got Falguest in tow. Beam Basher pretty close on the back of Falguest, having a little look. But Falguest is trying to distract Nick de Villa a little bit into the mirrors in the background of this. You've got the whole pack coming through Cop's corner there. And there is ATL down the inside of Joe Black up into 10th place there. But in fact 9th even, but Joe's going to get him on the exit and get the position straight back ahead of him. Smokey Devil is behind there, beat Pete Bibb. Bite-sized DJ and Hajoli have had a bit of a slow start here, but Beam Basher's down the inside of Falguest up into the lead of the race. What a start to the race Beam Basher has had. He's got ahead of Nick de Villa and Falguest, and the Mutts Nuts has followed him through. So Matt Falguest and Nick de Villa having not the best of openings to this race, as we've got somebody in the background there going for an ambitious move down the inside there. Oh my goodness me. Wow, WSRCJ down the inside. Oh, and Simon Turner gets spun round there. Simon Turner gets involved into some action there with I think that must have been ATL there, but or it might have actually been RDJ. RDJ, yeah, change of delivery there. RDJ and ATL getting involved with Simon Turner there. He's down to the back P14, and not the best of openings to this race for Simon Turner, but a long way to go. 28 laps to this race. Beam Basher ahead of the Mutts Nuts, leading the race. Grandad Steve's got ahead of his championship rival Falguest up into 3rd place, so it'll be more good points for Grandad Steve in that battle for the touring car title. As we see a bit of a collision there between Steve and Jay, but Jay backs off and lets him get on with it there, as he's got Nick de Villa pretty close in tow here, and this battle of 6 cars already starting to drive away from the rest of them here. Down the Wellington Straight they come towards Brooklands. Beanbash has pulled out a bit to the Mutsnuts so far. Mutsnuts has got Falguest in hot pursuit here as we now see Nick Lavilla down the inside of Jay into Brooklands, and he gets that one done. Nice move there from Nick Lavilla up into 5th place. Smoky Devil in the background, this in 7th. You got RDJ trying to keep Ayatel and Ayatel and Joe back behind him, and Ayatel has changed his livery again, which is just confusing me even more. So he's currently on the outside of Joe Black right now. RDJ in the foreground there, just running in front of these guys. Pete Bibb trying to close in on him if he can. But you see there Joe Black having a little look to the inside, but can't get it done there at the moment on AOTEL, and AOTEL holds on for that 9th place. Beanbash is still running in the lead of the race. He's got 7/10 of a second to the Mutsnuts, who's still got heavy pressure from Falguest, Grandad Stee, Nick Lavilla, WSRCJ, the top 6, and Smokey's starting to reel these guys in a little bit. So Smoky Devil bringing himself into this lead battle a little bit as WSRCJ drops off of the top 5 ever so slightly there, coming through that first sector. Now the Mutsnuts has got Falguest looking down his inside. Falguest makes the move into Brooklands, as he were between the rest of them there. RDJ running in 8th. Ayatel has managed to pull a bit more to Joe Black. Pete Bibb there running in 11th. Hijoli, Simon Turner and Bite Size DJ rounding out the classification right now. But here is the man, Beanbasher, currently showing them all how it's done here at Motive for the touring cars here at Silverstone National. Falguest there in the background is trying to hold on from the Mutsnuts, who's trying to come back at him into Cops. Falguest is going to just cover that inside line, but he doesn't manage to cover it off completely. The Mutsnuts goes for that gap and gets the beautiful cut back there, but they've got Nick Lavilla and Grandad Stee both all over them here. Falguest holds on the inside there of Maggots as the Mutsnuts tries to go around the outside. Oh, great move from the Mutsnuts there. I think he caught Falguest a little bit by surprise there and gets himself back up into that position, as he's still got these guys absolutely going hell for leather here. But the Mutsnuts in that P2 on the outside has got Falguest and Grandad Stee both looking to his inside. Nick Lavilla in the midst of all of this as they're going at it here. These guys giving no quarter as Falguest and the Grandad Stee and the Mutsnuts still side by side coming through Luffield. The Mutsnuts is going to try and slide that one out, but Grandad Stee's going to try and hold it around the outside of the Mutsnuts, leaves him a car's width, which is what he's supposed to do there. Grandad Stee taking every little bit of the track he possibly can. How they managed to squeeze that through the gap and they didn't come together, I do not know. But the Mutsnuts in the end manages to fend off that challenge, and Falguest now having a look on Steve, but Steve covers that off coming into Cop's corner. Nick Lavilla still watching this unfold. He's driving a patient race at the moment. How much longer is he going to be able to remain patient for? We'll have to wait and see. So many livery changes, confusing the hell out of me. Oh no! Nick Lavilla gets a big slide there, and he's gonna hold on to it somehow, but he's dropped a little bit off of them. But WSRCJ has dropped behind Smoky Devil. Smoky Devil's up into 5th place. Jay loses out there, and he's dropped a little bit off of the leaders. But Nick Lavilla still on this lead pack somehow. I say lead pack, they're dropping off of Beanbasher. Beanbasher's the leader. These are the rest of them at the moment. But Steve just ahead of the Mutsnuts, and Nick Lavilla losing out. Falguest though has dropped down to 9th place here. It was Falguest the one who lost out. He got all over the place there. He's down in P9, so he's got work to do here. This is going to play into the hands of Grandad Stee, his championship rival. At this stage in the race, Steve would gain a lot of points on Falguest in those standings. But still a long way to go, and we know that Falguest will be making up positions left, right and centre. He's currently on the back of AOTEL as they're coming into Cops. They've got RDJ and AOTEL just in the foreground there as Falguest is coming through the corner now. Beanbash has got almost a 3-second lead here over Grandad Stee, and the Mutsnuts just waiting in the wings here as he's in that slipstream of Grandad Stee coming up down the Wellington Straight for what is the 7th time here in this race. Nick Lavilla's dropped off of them a little bit over the course of this lap. He's got Smoky Devil for company coming in towards Brooklands, but Grandad Stee still just ahead of the Mutsnuts. They're starting to work together a little bit now. They're starting to reel in Beanbasher ever so slightly, who's just ran away at the start of this one. He's kind of had it all his own way in the first part of this feature race. Got a very strong start, got himself into the lead on that one, and has not looked back since. As the battle for 7th rages on, RDJ at the head of it. Falguest has got himself ahead of AOTEL up into 8th place, but Falguest has got to negotiate RDJ, and RDJ's no pushover in these touring cars. He's a quick guy in the Megane for sure. Is there? In fact, he's racing the Megane tonight. He usually races in the BMW, I'm sure. So, but he's quick in the touring cars anyway. We know that for sure. AOTEL, they're trying to capitalise as Falguest gets a little bit of a twitch on coming out of Cops, but he holds on to it into Maggots. Covering that inside line. AOTEL a bit wide there coming through that part of the track. Pete Bibb's closed up onto the back of his teammate Joe Black. These two battling out over the final top 10 spot. Simon Turner up into 12th ahead of Hijoli and Bite Size DJ since his very, very unfortunate start to the race. Got caught up in a few knocks and argy-bargy here and there. Gap at the front between Beamasher and Grandad Steve staying at around 2.5 seconds at the moment. The battle for second place still rages on. 3 of them, Grandad Steve, the Mutt Nuts and Nick Lavilla still going at it. RDJ still keeping Falguest and Airtel behind him, but Falguest now is very close on the back of RDJ, and surely he's going to be looking up the inside of the course. Oh no, Falguest! Oh my goodness me! Oh my god, he just hit the inside of the wall coming through Woodcote, and he loses out to Airtel there, unsurprisingly. I think the most surprising thing about that is that he hasn't got damage on the car, and that he didn't end up on the gravel or facing the wrong way. How he kept that on its natural trajectory, I will never know. Falguest was coming through Woodcote and was trying to get the cutback, trying to just sneak into that little pocket where you can get that slipstream, that proper good toe out onto the national pit straight, and he tagged the wall coming through Woodcote on the inside and got sideways, went on off onto the runoff area. Obviously had to overcorrect it and get out of it a little bit there in order not to go round and end up spinning, but he's lost out to Airtel. Airtel up into 8th place. Hairy moments here for the championship leader with his rival up in P2 and closing in on the race leader Beambasher. So Grandad Steve knows this is his opportunity here to really make some hay while the sun shines, albeit in the night time here at Silverstone National. The Mutt Nuts in the background with Nick Lavilla still close as Nick really rides that curve on the inside of Cop's corner. Riding this luck, I would imagine you don't want to ride it too much. You've got to always, at some point you've really got to acknowledge when you had the rubber to green, but at the moment it's still Beambasher with just under a 2-second lead here to Stee, and the Mutt Nuts and Nick waiting in the wings, and these guys are now all closing in on Beambasher. Beambasher definitely was able to run away at the start, managed to get the jump on the rest of them, but they're catching him hand over fist at the moment. Into Brooklands he comes here on lap 10 of 28. Still early doors here in this race. They can come into the pits any time for this one. There's no limits on mandatory pit stops or anything like that. Is it me? I do not think Falguest has got the has got that damage repaired. I still got a dent on that left door. It's not going to be costing him too much time, but he's definitely still got dents on that car. It doesn't look like major damage. I mean, there's nothing hanging off or flapping around, but for sure I think that he's definitely not got that repaired there. But Beambasher's into the pits anyway to make his stop. This will be a reference point now, because obviously we'll be able to see where Falguest is in relation to the leaders, Grandad Steve, Mutt Nuts and Nick, because once Beambasher comes out we'll obviously see where he is in relation to Falguest. Pete Bibb coming into the pits as well, end of lap 11, so he's coming in and getting it done and out of the way. Grandad Steve still your leader by 7/10 ahead of the Mutt Nuts. Nick Lavilla still quite close. A second between these guys down the Wellington Straight as Nick Lavilla's lining up a move here on the Mutt Nuts. Is he going to go for a lunge here into Brooklands? No, the Mutt Nuts takes his line, covers that off a little bit wide from the Mutt Nuts. Has to overcorrect it a little bit. Nick's has to lock up to avoid running into the back of the Mutt Nuts, and it's still as you were between these two, still trying to catch on to the leader, Grandad Steve, but Beambasher was the leader before he came in, and he's come out actually he's only 3 seconds ahead of Falguest, so either Beambasher has had a bit of a sketchy stop or Falguest has had a very quick one, or both, as Bite Size DJ is now on the back of Beambasher. Bite Size DJ still yet to pit in this race, is still going to come in and do that pit stop at some point throughout the race. Exactly when he does it is up to him, but it would be advisable for him to do it soon. But Grandad Steve still has the lead. 8/10 he's now got to the Mutt Nuts, so he's got that cushion as Grandad Steve. He's got that comfort. He can sort of look in his mirrors, he can look over his shoulder and think, you know what, I haven't got to worry too much just at the moment. But you can see there Nick Lavilla is now pretty close on the Mutt Nuts in towards Brooklands, having a little look, just trying to weave around a bit and distract the Mutt Nuts, but Mutt Nuts not having any of it at the moment. RDJ has got Joe Black on the back of him. This battle for 6th, what is a net 8th once they've come in and done their pit stops. Simon Turner obviously still yet to pit. He got very unlucky at the start and found himself way off of the back of the pack, so it'd be interesting to see where he can recover himself to in this race. If he can get a top 10, I'd say that's a job well done for him after his first lap. It would be no mean feat for that to happen. But Grandad Steve, the Mutt Nuts, Smokey, Airtel and RDJ all in the pits this lap. I don't know if somebody's selling hot dogs in the pits, but they're all coming in this time around, so that looks like they're getting their pit stops done and out of the way now. Nick Lavilla has the lead and will obviously try and make the most of this clear air that he's got to get some laps down here, but pretty much the whole field coming in at the end of lap 12 of 28, so we'll obviously keep an eye on Grandad Steve, the first to emerge from the pits. Hey, Jolie coming round. He's still yet to pit. Mutsnuts is coming out just a couple of seconds behind Grandad Stee. You got Bean Basher there. Bean Basher has been jumped by Stee and by the Mutsnuts, so Bean Basher's had a nightmare in the pits. He was leading this race before the pit window. He now finds himself 3.5 seconds off of the lead of Grandad Stee. That could not have gone much worse for Bean Basher there, to be honest with you. He's still got, oh, in fact, Falguest has had another mistake. Falguest must have had a moment, because he's now
Smoky here.
oh, we're just hearing reports there on that apparently he had a collision with Smoky Devil and Falguest. Look at the front of that car. He's got the front bumper hanging off. So, oh no. That's going to give the impetus to Grandad Stee here. Well, it will definitely bring the championship a little bit closer. I got to say, I'll be more upset if I saw Grandad Stee in that situation, only because Falguest is the one with the lead, and Grandad Stee's the one who's trailing. At this point, obviously, it levels the playing field a little bit, but so unfortunate for Falguest, he's opting to stay out. Now, it's obviously a bit of a compromise, because he obviously feels he's not losing too much time to warrant a pit stop at this point. You know, with 15 laps left to go, you might lose about half a second to maybe 7 or 8 tenths, you know, about half a second to 3/4 of a second a lap with that damage that he's got on the front, possibly more, who knows, maybe even a second. But the amount of time that you spend in the pits, it's not worth coming in and getting it repaired, because the amount of time that you'll spend in the pits for coming in, it's just not worth it. It's a silly, you know, you'd have to be mad to consider that as a solid trade-off. But at the moment, Falguest continuing on. He'll be on course for some decent points. He'll get 11 points for his championship as it stands for 9th place. Grandad Stee currently sat in the net lead, so Grandad Stee would cut the lead by 24 points, but Falguest is still in a position where he can recover positions at this point. It's not all done and dusted. Pardon me, that was a hiccup just yet. So you know, it's definitely on the cards for him to bring himself further up the order. But Grandad Stee definitely in the box seat in a moment, looking like he's in cruise control. He's got 3 seconds back to Bean Basher, who's in a net 2nd place. The Mutsnuts running in a net 3rd place, albeit maybe not actually, because I've just completely forgotten about this man here, Nick DeVilla, who is the current leader of the race and could be net 2nd, I think, looking at the order. Maybe the lead could be a bit beyond reach, because Grandad Stee is within 28 seconds of him, but I don't know, to be honest. I don't know how long the pit lane is really. I don't know how much time you lose in the pits around this track, but I've seen earlier on, obviously we saw Bean Basher was 32 seconds behind. He ended up being just behind Stee, so I don't know, maybe Nick Livilla could jump Stee. I don't know, could be close. Depends if he's got the cheap pit stop configured. Depends if he's got 2% engine damage. If he gets the 2% engine damage, brings it into the box, then he might find himself in the lead of this race. That could be one to follow. Joe Black has obviously got to come in again. We're expecting Joe Black to come out somewhere in amongst Smokey and Falguest, possibly as far back as Pete Bibb, but definitely in contention for a top 10 spot. The Mutsnuts we see on the back of Bean Basher here, these two continuing to drop off of Grandad Stee. Grandad Stee looking like he's the fastest man out on track at the moment, and he is very much on course to take a sizable chunk out of Falguest's championship lead at the moment. Falguest has been passed by Smoky Devil. I have a feeling we might be seeing a stewards inquiry coming in about whatever happened earlier on. We've heard reports from a couple of the drivers that Falguest and Smoky had a bit of a to-do, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. As Bite-Sized DJ there just being lapped by Falguest. Bite-Sized DJ over the radio there, not happy with Falguest, but Falguest is in a bit of a sticky situation at the moment. It's not been the race for him. He had that moment. He dropped back to 9th place when he was in that fight for the lead with Nick and Grandad Stee and Bean Basher and the Mutsnuts as well. They were all in that little group, and then he had that big spin coming through the first sector, dropped him down the order like a stone, and then just to compound issues, he then had that matter with Smoky Devil. I've just got my words mixed up there, what am I doing? But Smoky Devil there wide out of Beckett's. And in fact, no, it's not Smoky Devil, I do apologise. And that is actually Ardy. No, it's not Ardy J. Hold on, are there 2 mild 7? Hold on. Hold up. Oh, it's a Jolie, yeah. So many of the liveries have changed in between the sprint and the feature races, so I have no idea who's who half the time. But yeah, Jolie there. It's just being actually passed by position there for those two, and he's down to P10. Doesn't look like he's got damage, but he got well out of it for them. So I don't know. But right now, Smokey's still running 8th place ahead of Falguest even. WSR CJ looks pretty close on the back of the Mutts Nuts here. These two separated by just under a second actually at this point. Nick though still leads ahead of Joe Black. 15 seconds is the gap between those two. And Joe Black, as we say, still needs to come into the pits, as does Nick Lavilla. But Nick Lavilla could be pretty close with Grandad Stee once he comes into the pits. Grandad Stee is closing that gap to him. So the longer that Nick Lavilla stays out, maybe the less likely it's going to be that he can jump Grandad Stee. I think Nick might just be waiting for his engine damage to just go up a little bit here, because he's staying out for a while. I suspect that he's trying to run that engine up to the point where it gets to 2%, and then he can come in and do that pit stop in record time. That crazy quick pit stop, which is basically a massive cheat and a huge flaw in the way that the game's been set up. Oh, we're just seeing an exclamation there as the Mutts Nuts has gone into the wall. Oh no, and that was Jay there, as he was, I assume by the sounds of him, straining to avoid the Mutts Nuts there. He managed to get through, but the Mutts Nuts has dropped down to 8th place here. He's dropped behind Airtel and Smokey, and behind Falguest as well. So Falguest gains another position here, which is going to be crucial for him. But Mutts Nuts is going to have a much healthier car on the exit of Beckett's, and cruises back past him again. But the Mutts Nuts there in the wall on the exit of Cops, but managed to actually keep his car out of the wall. He was like next to the wall, but presumably he kept it out of the wall, because that car doesn't seem to be in bad health, if I'm honest with you. So he's been very, very lucky there, and he's got away with that one. But we see Falguest there just tagging the grass on the inside of Luffield. Once again, front bonnet hanging off there for Falguest. He's going to get a good slipstream though coming down the national pit straight. Maybe might have a chance looking down the inside into Cops. Not for the time being. I think potentially the Mutts Nuts does have damage, but his damage just isn't as obvious as Falguest, because I think his rear end was in the wall, and yep, he's just gone wide there through Cops. Falguest swoops up the inside. I'm pretty sure the Mutts Nuts does have damage on the car. It's not as blatant as Falguest, but there's definitely damage there. And yeah, it's just you just have to look a little bit harder to find it. But at the moment, Falguest there up into 8th place and continuing to minimise the points gained by Grandad Stee in this championship battle. Grandad Stee, we believe, is the net leader, but he could be net second. It depends on what sort of pit stop Nick Lavilla does. Joe Black here will be a net P9, I think, or P10. Don't know, he'll be somewhere around there. We don't know until we see him pit, because we don't know what sort of pit stop he's going to get. He could get a 1 second pit stop, he could get a 6 second pit stop, he could be in there for years, you never know. So it depends on what sort of pit stop he gets once he comes into the pits. But you know, he's, oh my goodness, there we just see somebody at the end of Wellington Straight. Who is that? Has just gone straight on, not moved at the end of the pit at the end of the Wellington Straight. That's Bite Size DJ. No, it's not Bite Size DJ, it is it's RDJ. RDJ stopped the car at the end of the Wellington Straight by Brooklands. So let's just hope that he doesn't get involved with the drivers that are out on track at the moment. But Nick Lavilla still leads the race, still got to come into the pits. The Mutts Nuts is pretty close on the back of Falguest at the moment. RDJ is just on the runoff on the exit of Brooklands, so just keep half an eye on him, but I'm sure he's alright. Mutts Nuts though on the back of Falguest at the moment. These guys 8th and 9th. Mutts Nuts is pretty close to the back of Falguest, it must be said, but at the moment can't seem to find a way through. Both of these guys have got some damage on the cars, which will obviously be stopping them from closing in on the cars ahead. But they've got 8 seconds back to Pete Bibb, as Pete Bibb's in the pits. Yeah, absolutely, thanks mate. We've got Nick Lavilla into the pits, the race leader's coming in, so now moment of truth. We're going to find out if Nick Lavilla can get the jump here on Grandad Stee. Has Grandad Stee done enough to take the lead of the race and maximise his points gained on Falguest over the course of this feature race? Falguest has had nothing short of a nightmare of a race in this feature race, but could maybe still be on for some good points, as Nick Lavilla is still in the box. And there is Grandad Stee Grandad Steed's coming up towards the line now. Nick de Villa's on the exit of the pits now. Where is Grandad Steed's coming into Cop's corner? Oh, Grandad Steed's done it. Grandad Steed's into the lead of round 9, the feature race for Motive Racing's Touring Car Championship on a Friday night here at Silverstone International. Grandad Steed has pulled it absolutely brilliant throughout the course of this pit window. He emerges with the net lead of the race, second out on the track. Joe Black leads for the time being, but he will lose out on that lead once he comes in. He'll drop down to, I think, 9th place is the most likely position for him to come out in once all is said and done. Here Jolie in for another pit stop at the end of lap 23. Joe Black though coming through Luffield at the moment, and he'll obviously be dropping back a bit. We've got Grandad Steed in the net lead of the race. He's got 4 seconds to Nick de Villa, and Nick de Villa's got Beam Basher all over him here coming through Luffield. So we've got 5 laps left in the race. I'm just looking at the fuel for a couple of these drivers. Joe Black's got plenty, Grandad Steed's got plenty. Nick de Villa's only got 4 litres or 5 litres in the tank. Best part of 5 litres in the tank. That's going to be a close one. He should be able to make it. I think a lap is about a litre, so he might be all right. Beam Basher's got plenty. WSRC J's got plenty. AFL is Smokey's running it a bit fine, but he should be okay. So yeah, I think we're all okay for the fuel. But Nick de Villa and Beam Basher still battling it out as they're coming down the Wellington Straight. Once again, a flash of lights from Beam Basher there. Clearly thinks he should be entitled to this podium spot, but Nick de Villa's not going to agree with that one, as it is looking to the outside in towards Brooklands. Beam Basher trying to go around the outside as Nick just hugs that curve on the inside line. Beam Basher does a great move and manages to hold it all the way. Even kept a bit of both of those wheels on the white line as he came around Brooklands into Luffield. Beam Basher up into the podium spots. That's going to be one of the best overtakes so far this season. That was pretty committed there from Beam Basher, but Nick de Villa's not done with him. Out onto the start-finish straight they come. Can Nick de Villa return the favour? He's a little bit too far back coming into Cops. It's not really an overtaking place unless you're considerably alongside. Beam Basher though wide through Cops, a little bit on the grass. That's going to give Nick the run coming up towards Maggots and Beckett's. And Nick is going to be side by side. No, thinks better of that one. Beam Basher tucks it into 3rd spot here. These guys 10 seconds off for the leader Joe Black. They're obviously 4 seconds off of the net leader Grandad Steed. Joe still needs to come in at some point between now and the end of the race. He's trying to play it long, I'm sure, to possibly get the jump on Falguest and the Mustnuts, who we know both have damage on their cars. But can he do it here? I think Falguest and the Mustnuts are actually lapping quicker than him at the moment. So at this stage, I think Joe's best hope is finishing P9 in this one. And he's coming in now, so we'll find out in a moment's time where Joe filters out. Grandad Steedo coming over the line to start lap 26 of 28. He's got 4 seconds back to Beam Basher at the moment. Looking like he's in control of this one. As far as we can see, we've got Gary says, evening Andy, DJ Phil, why are you not on track? This is late for a race night. It is a little bit, yeah. We started about 9 o'clock for the touring cars on a Friday, so bit of a late one. But it's been good racing, some of the best races on PlayStation, on Project Cars here, so always good to have a bit of a late night sesh on a Friday. But Grandad Steed coming in towards Brooklands. He's got 2 and a bit laps left to go. Beam Basher's still got Nick de Villa very close behind him here. About half a second between these two at the moment. There's a big slide there from Beam Basher, getting a bit onto the curb there through Brooklands into Luffield. Didn't really affect his entry into Luffield too much. Still managed to get a beautiful exit out of the corner, which is leaving Nick with absolutely nothing to go on coming down the National Pit Straight. Gary said, did I just hear damages on? It is indeed, yeah. I actually took off the Simplay really with that one. I thought Simplay managed to make it work. If you've got a good lobby full of drivers, there's no reason why full damage shouldn't work, and it's really made the racing a lot more exciting, to say the least. But Beam Basher still just ahead of Nick at the moment, and a bit of a lock up there from both of them. Nick went a little bit wide though, and that just compromised his run ever so slightly. These two took a bit of time out of Grandad Steed on the last lap, but not anywhere near enough to actually get him by the time you get to the end of the race. It's just a little chipping away at this point, but I don't think it's going to come to anything by the time you get to the checkered flag, as Nick takes a bit of the cones there with him coming through Brooklands. And we just heard a bit of a exclamation there in the game chat. But for the time being, these two still making inroads on Grandad Steed. Grandestido's probably taking it a bit easy. He's on the final lap of the race now. He just has to cruise home for what's going to be another win this season. He took the win in the sprint race this evening. He took the feature race win last week at Snetterton. This is going to be his third race win in a row for Grandad Steve, so he's on a bit of a run here in the touring cars at Motive. He's starting to hit a real purple patch. Nick de Villa. Oh no, Nick de Villa. Oh, what's happened? Oh no, he's just cut the inside of Maggots. No, it's fuel. It's fuel. I knew it. Oh, I called it. A few laps to go. Nick de Villa. Oh, what a shame. Grandad Stedo's coming into Luffield and he's about to win this race. We said before, he's on an absolute run of form here. He took the win in the GTEs on Sunday night, not a category he usually races in. He seems to be really finding his feet in all the categories at the moment. Grandad Steve up towards the line, a flash of the lights from one of our championship contenders. He closes the gap to Falguest in the standings. What a win from Grandad Steve. What a performance tonight. Takes the double here at Silverstone National. Beam Basher comes home in second place. WSRCJ completes the podium. Ayatel not too far off the podium in the end in fourth place. Smokey comes over in fifth. You just see there the lap car of Pete Bibb finishing in 11th place. Smokey there finishes in fifth. Falguest over in sixth, not the race he would have wanted at all, but gets the nuts at the end. So, in fact, the points game by Grandad Steve, only 15 points here over the course of this one. Joe Black comes over to take 8th place in the end. Here, Jody there finished in 12th. He's done for the race there. You see, just coming into Cops, he's finished the race. Bite Size DJ is coming up towards the line. It's going to be 13th spot for Bite Size DJ as he bins it over the line. They're all binning it over the line tonight. Nick though, where is Nick? Nick's parked up by Beckett's. Nick's parked up by Beckett's and he's retired the car. And Simon Turner, I think, was the last to finish the race. Oh, what a shame for Nick de Villa. In contention for a podium spot. It all went Pete Tong. I was looking at the gauge and I was thinking.
I'm not going to pass you, man. I just want to sit behind.
I looked at the fuel gauge and I thought to myself, sometimes the game on the spectator mode underestimates it, like by a bit. So I was hoping maybe he had a bit more, but I kind of noticed it and I was thinking, oh god, he's cutting it fine. I always put in I always leave about a 10% margin just to be sure.
I think I'll finish with a boot for 30 litres or something. Came round the first corner, come down there, I was literally like, got no fuel. I went out of fuel to come down there.
Unlucky there, man. You raced well though. Well done, Steve. No one could stop you tonight.
Oh, enjoy that truck.
Close the gap to Fal a bit.
Well, I saw the runner when you went in. I should have stayed out for 2 laps and then come back in. I stayed out too long. I think the other way.
You're within a race win of Fal now, Steve, in the championship. 27 points, so it's pretty close.
Catching them slowly.
Yeah, you're chipping away. You're getting there.
I don't know if it was me and Fal that touched going into that corner.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Was it?
Both. Yeah, even Smokey and Falguest happened in front of me as well. That's how I knew. Smokey was just coming out of the pits. And I don't know if he's seen Falguest on the side of him or what, but...
All I saw was Fal was way down and he had the bonnet basically hanging off.
Yeah, they were both spinning either side of me. I thought, oh no, here we go. And I'd already had the bloody Nick decided to bloody push bloody Falguest in front of me. I thought, oh great, here we go.
Not again.
Yeah, I thought, cheers Nick, thanks.
I didn't mean to. I need to just
bloody did.
I need to just.
Because you knew I was coming for you.
I can see it coming, but the problem is I've got no controls for looking left and right, so I don't know exactly where anybody is. I know I get a little marker that says there's someone there.
Yeah, that's why I do roof cam, because I can see.
Yeah, I haven't got that. I've got cockpit and things.
Yeah, I do roof cam. That's the only reason why.
Just
I'm
need
always
to
bonnet.
assign 2 buttons so I can look out know where people are.
I go bonnet because I find it's the perfect medium. You can still kind of like get a feel of like you're in the car, but at the same time, you can still see what's around you as well.
Yeah, it is. I think it's all different perspectives, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just it's a matter of preference. Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah. What's the next track then?
Next one. Oh, let me have a look. I forgot. I think it might be Silver. We've still got Silverstone International to go, but next week's Alton Park Island. Next week's Island, Alton Park. But
Bring it on.
Silverstone International is round 11, and then Brands Hatch Indy to finish off, because we're already nearly at the end of the season. So it's been going a while this one.
Andy, are they all dry races, or are they like mixed with weather or what?
Yeah, I'm leaving it dry for this season. This season's kind of like been, because like basically, do you remember like how basically the entire grid left when all that shit kicked off before? So this season's just been like rebuilding it. So I haven't like, yeah, I'm the coordinator for all the project cars leagues at the minute. So I haven't sort of had time to configure out all of the settings and everything. It's just like wing it. You know, I set it up today's date and then just wing it. So it's always dry. Probably like for next season, what I'll do is I'll set it up, you know, how it used to be. There'll be plenty of time over Christmas and stuff to get that figured out. But yeah, they'll be mostly dry races.
I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, there'll be mostly dry races this season. It'll be, yeah, definitely. But it'll be today's date. It'll always be the current date, and it'll usually be clear or light cloud or something.
Right, that's alright.
I'm going head off, Andy. I'll catch you later.
See you in a bit, mate.
Well, yeah, I'll catch you. Well done.
Good racing tonight.
Thanks a lot. Catch you later.
See ya.
There it is. It definitely works better without the penalties.
Around this track, yeah, I think Alton Park Island will be another one. We might, I don't know, it might be difficult around Alton Park Island because there's a couple of chicanes. There's one chicane. There's Knickerbrook into Hislops. The island will be alright for that because it's only it's the hairpin. You go straight from, you basically go through Cascades and then it's the hairpin straight into the island hairpin. There's no Shell Oil bit, so it's island hairpin. Yeah, so you miss out Britain's.
Yeah, you can't really cut that, can you? That one really, in a way.
You can cut Knickerbrook though. That's the problem.
Yeah, true.
You can gain a couple of seconds through Knickerbrook because we've done it before where we've taken track limits off and just raced the old track, and we always like just cut that bit for fun. So you can gain a lot through there.
Yeah, but if someone's lap time stupidly quick, you can highlight it, can't you? You'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
So,
I think it could work because I'm always cycling through all the order anyway. I never focus on like one battle. I'm constantly like flicking down. I basically just go up and down the order the whole time. So if somebody's cutting, I'll find them eventually.
yeah.
It's unlikely they'll escape my attention the whole race.
Well, it seemed quite a fair bunch, to be fair, racing here.
Yeah, everyone's clean.
Really.
It shouldn't be a problem. Shouldn't be an issue. I'm sure it'd be alright.
same people,
Hopefully no one ruins it for everyone.
Well, yeah.
all the same people or similar people.
Yes, I never raced with that much nuts.
Do you know what it is now? It's a mix of the original lot emotive and a mix with the kind of like the two generations emotive are kind of like colliding kind of thing now.
Yeah.
You guys were like from that second generation and they were like the guys who were here right at the start. So it's,
I reckon, to be fair, a lot of people probably come back over to Motive again because they're on about getting rid of touring cars and
What, Sim Zone?
on the other one.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What, are they just focusing on ACC now then?
Well, they're not getting the grids.
Oh really?
Yeah. So
There's
yeah,
only one grid now, so there's not two.
yeah, they can't get and they're struggling to get that. So
Mate, I think the reason for that is, it's on Sunday night, it's quite late, isn't it? I don't know about you.
yeah,
On a Sunday night, mate, there's things I want to get done.
yeah.
And I want to be like,
Do you know what? When I saw, because basically like the Sim Zone, G has made like this. He didn't even bother to try and sort of like sugarcoat it. The whole reason why he set it up on a Sunday night was so that he would ruin motives. He was basically just trying to screw me over, basically. So what I thought to myself when I saw that, I thought to myself, what would be a good idea is to put it on a Friday, because the number of people that I see racing touring cars in online lobbies on Friday is insane. Literally, there's so many touring car lobbies on a Friday night. So I thought, you know what? Why not put the touring cars on Friday instead of Sunday? And it worked quite well.
The Friday to Sunday. The Sunday, it really does. It's like, just
Plus-
eats too much into my night, and I want to be up and doing all the things to do.
Well, yeah. Plus, it's only 2 races as well. Where I've said to G, I said it's just too much. It's just too much in one night. 3 races, and the last race is how long, Nick? Oh, stupid.
I think I'm still.
Stupid long.
Am I still streaming? Oh no, I'm still streaming. Fuck's sake.